as their coordinator. So I'm one of the first people that you would be in contact with once you decide that you would want to come to Heidelberg. And I'm the problem solver. Whenever you have something that you need assistance with, you would be coming to me with that. And also I am the alumni coordinator. So once you're done with your studies, we don't forget about you. We want to keep you in our network, and we want to help you and support you in building your own personal network.
So the presentation today that we have for you guys, this is something that Anya and I have put together for you. So we hope that it's informative. We hope that we've made it interesting, but more than that, we're trying to bring this to you a little bit more informally and show you not only the studies, but also the fun side of coming to Heidelberg and all of the amazing experiences that she and I had at the university. And as a fun fact, we even became friends while she was on her exchange, and later ended up doing our internships and now working together. So we have experienced quite a bit in the last, 3 years? Yeah, 3 years together. And so we would love to be able to share this with other international students so that you guys could have the life-changing opportunity that we did. So first and foremost, take a look at Germany. I'm not sure how much research you have done. Maybe this is the first German university you're looking at. Maybe you have had your mind set on Germany for a while, but I wanted to give you a few top informations about Germany. First and foremost, top quality education. University degrees from Germany are highly respected worldwide. So whether your goal is to come to Germany for school and go back home, or maybe go to another country when you graduate, having a German degree carries value. Good quality of life and a safe and welcoming country. I can say from my student experience, and hopefully Anya can also back me up on this, the quality of life in Heidelberg is really good. 25% of the population of Heidelberg is students. So that means there are a lot of activities specifically geared towards students. So they're fun and interesting, but also geared toward a student budget. So it's also affordable for you. And safe and welcoming. Our university has over 65 nationalities, but Heidelberg is the oldest university city in Europe. And so it has a very long history of welcoming foreign students, foreign workers. So it's very safe and welcoming and wants the international students to come. Of course, when thinking of where you want to get a job and where you want to go, you also think of the infrastructure and economy. Germany is the first economy in Europe, and during COVID times, we are still working. We are still up and running. We are still the first economy in Europe. So the jobs are there. And as the alumni manager, I'm sure that Anya can also back me up. The jobs are still coming for the graduates. So that has not stopped. So please don't have that fear that if you come, that things are going to slow down. Nope, companies are hiring, jobs are there. An additional benefit, because I believe most of you, unless you have a dual citizenship, are non-EU students. With your visa, you get to work 120 full days. Most of the students who are master's students are working during their studies. And Heidelberg is actually the largest technology cluster. The area we're in, I should say, not Heidelberg specifically, is the largest technology cluster in all of Europe. So there are jobs there, and there are jobs for students. With a German degree, you get an 18-month job searching visa, but most of our students don't need that. And after 2 years, you can apply for a permanent residence. That's actually the process that I'm going through right now. It's not very difficult to do. Once you have your job, a permanent job, I should say, for 2 years, then you can go ahead and apply for a permanent residence. And I should say to all of you guys, as we're going through our presentation today, like I said, we're trying to keep it really informal, and we want to answer all of your questions. So if you have a question while we're talking, use the chat function. Anya has her eye on it, and ask your questions. That's exactly what we're here for today. Here are our English programs. We do offer a number of German programs at our university, so I'm sure we can assist you with that, but most of the students indicated they were interested in the English programs. We have one bachelor program, International Business. That's the program that Anya and I were both in. And we have a number of master programs. We have programs in computer science, engineering, therapy, and business. And we're located, you can see, on the right-hand side down in the southwest of Germany. So the location is really good because you can get to France within 45 minutes. Within a couple of hours, you can be in Switzerland. Maybe 5 or 6 hours, you can be all the way into Austria. So the location is really good. One of the things that Anya and I really like to do is take trips around where we're located. Baden-Baden, if you want to go to a really lovely spa city, if you want to go walking in the Black Forest, that's nearby. Maybe you're somebody who likes water sports. Anya and I go to the river in our city quite a bit, so you can do supping like she does, or you can sit on the river edge and read a book like I do normally. But there are lots of really beautiful things to do in the area, interesting things to see. So if you, was there someone else with a question? No? Oh, I thought somebody turned their mic on. So yes, even during Corona times right now, there are still a lot of things to do and a lot of things to see, and you can still get an international experience when you're coming to the university. So taking a closer look at our university, we're a university of applied sciences. So what that means is typically universities of applied sciences are a little bit smaller than a public university. We're around 3,400 students, but they have closer connections to the industry. And what I mean by that is our professors are required to have professional experience. They must have at least 5 years of professional experience in whatever subject they're teaching, and they bring that with them into the classroom. In addition to that, we invite international guest professors from our partner universities. We have over 100 partner universities around the world. One of our most active partners is the University of Novi Sad. And I forget, Anya, was it 9 or 11 professors who came to us last year?
11.
11. So we had 11 international guest professors from Novi Sad come to us and teach throughout the year. So looking closer at the international students, we have over 600 degree-seeking students who are international every year and over 100 exchange students. So what this looks like is around 20% of the student body is international from around 65 nationalities. You can see we get the students together to do different things throughout the year. One of the pictures that we have here, of course, this is from 2019, definitely not a Christmas party from 2020, but we do things like Christmas parties held by our German students, or we do orientation, you can see on the other side, when the new students arrive, to give them a rundown of German culture, so you're aware of some of the basic do's and don'ts, so you can go out into the society a little more confident. So our favorite thing that we talk about, because we both work in the international office, is the international experience you can get at the university. I don't think that this can be underestimated. Anya has studied in a few countries now, at 3 countries, I think. And I have also studied in 3 different countries. And I'll say the international experiences that we had here were absolutely amazing. You can do things like coming to some of our gatherings that we have. Of course, not during COVID is what these pictures are from, but you can see me and Anya hosting that Christmas party together with some of our German students for the internationals. We also celebrated Fasching, which I'm not sure in Serbian culture if it's called Carnival, but that's what Fasching is for us. Anya's shaking her head, yes. So that's our Carnival party. But we were teaching them what Fasching was. So it's also learning and a little bit of fun. Next, you can do excursions. This is way back in the day when Anya and I first met. We took some of our students to Strasbourg. It was the 60th anniversary of the Erasmus Plus program. So we traveled there with a group of students and went to a giant conference with around 300 students from all around Europe. Or you can do things like our International Week, when we invite around 300 visiting students and guest professors from our partner universities around the world. And we do a week of events and also a little bit of lecture and a little bit of social time. And fun fact, that is also organized by Anya and I. So exchange opportunities. We encourage all of our students to get as much exposure to internationalization as possible. So no matter what program you decide you want to study in, there's an opportunity for you. You can do a study semester or an internship if they're part of your program, but every program can do a thesis abroad. And we have a lot of funding opportunities where you can go to any of the partner universities. You can see the little purple dots all around the world map. Those are all of the partner universities that we have, and every year we're collecting more and more partners from around the world. So to prepare for your thesis semester or your internship abroad, you can get involved early. You can do something like our International Cultural Club. You can volunteer to be a buddy for an incoming exchange student. You can take foreign language courses. They're included in your tuition. And you can also join a number of international groups within the city of Heidelberg, because again, we have a long history of welcoming international students. So there's 3 or 4 organizations around the city that have all the international students and even some of the students, German students in them, and you can join those as well. So this brings us back to Anya's favorite thing, the core principle. And actually, did you want to maybe present it, Anya? Because this was your big reason for coming to the university.
Sure. So first of all, my background was that I did my first studies, my first bachelor's in Zagreb, and I studied languages. I studied German and Russian, and that was under the well-known Bologna system that I think all of you probably know by heart how difficult that can be when you have a full semester of studying, and an enormous input of information that you then have to produce at the end of the semester all at once, and all the exams within 1 week. So after I finished my bachelor's in Zagreb, I went on to Denmark, where I studied my second bachelor's. And it was a completely different principle of learning and teaching. It was difficult at first because I was so used to this learning by heart and having to do everything a certain way, one-way street. You just have to get it in your head. And in Denmark, it was so different because we were working with real experiences at real companies, real cases that we had to develop ideas for. And the SRH was the only university that was a partner university of mine that had a similar teaching principle. What's even better with the core principle at SRH is that these time slots that you have to learn a certain subject are even shorter. So you have 5 weeks within which you focus on 1 or a maximum of 2 topics that you go in depth with. And you learn how to use the knowledge that you learn in class immediately. So you work with case studies, you work with group projects. You are the ones who have to present to your teacher. And remember what Stephanie said, that teacher, that professor is someone who actually knows what they're doing because they have been working in a company or they own a company that is focused on what you're learning right there, right now. You even have the opportunity to pitch projects to different companies when they come and request assistance or an idea pool from the university. So that is so unique and that is so valuable because you are challenged. It is not that you come to class and you have to be there and somehow get through 3 hours without falling asleep and have your signature on the paper that you were there and then you leave. That's not the case here. You come to class, you actively participate, and all that is taught in class actually stays with you because you understand it. You have a way to use it in the moment and on a case, so then you remember it in a different way and you are sure of your knowledge and your accomplishments at the end of those 5 weeks. So throughout the year, you have 8 blocks in which you take classes and you finish those 5 weeks with an exam. So there is no exam stress at the end of the semester. Of course, it is very fast-paced, but after you realize how much more valuable this is, it is so much better and so much more enjoyable to study and to go to university than when you know that there is this dreadful week that is rolling up on you at the end of the semester. So yeah, I'm a very big fan of that system because it has shown time and time again that what I have learned by studying in this way has stuck with me so much more than something that I've learned by heart way back when and maybe never got to use it because it just wasn't relevant. Here you learn relevant stuff that you can then implement in your job.
And thank you, Anya. That is something that is really true, because one of the benefits that I always felt, granted, I am working at the university, but coming into my role, one of the benefits that I felt was, oh, my boss would give me a project to do. Well, I know how to do a little bit of project management. Or wanting me to lead teams. Well, I studied leadership skills, but beyond actually studying the topic, it's active. So when I did project management, I actually had to manage a project. And these were things that I brought with me, the do's and don'ts. And beyond that, this group work is absolutely key. So you can bring that into your new position and say, not only do I have experience doing these different requirements for the job, but I have the experience doing them in a team, as the team leader or as support, and I have the experience doing it in an international team. So these are benefits that you can bring with you directly into your new job. And just as a highlight, Anya touched on the project pitches this semester. We're doing projects engineering. They're doing projects with Daimler-Benz or Mercedes-Benz, and our computer science are doing projects with the global headquarters for SAP, which is located about 20 minutes from our campus, as well as the headquarters for SAS. So I believe we touched a little on these just through the organic talking that we were having before, but our classrooms are really small, and this allows for you to do those group projects. But beyond that, it allows you to actually work with the professor, those people who have experience in the industry, or as Anya pointed out, are owning their own company in that industry. You're doing contact hours with them as opposed to a traditional lecture hour. So you're getting even more out of it. This practical teaching and practical testing that we have here is something that you can take into your student jobs. If you're looking for a student job, you can tell them, or you can ask them for a project that you can bring back to the university. And because we are a University of Applied Sciences, we have a lot of these industries who know us and who are talking with our professors, or as I said, bringing these projects into the class. So because of this core principle, 92% of our students graduate successfully. And what I mean by successfully is on time. If your course, for example, bachelor courses in Germany are 3 years, if you graduate successfully, it means it took you 3 years to finish the course. And that is a big benefit of this block system, this 5 weeks, because if for any reason you needed to repeat an exam, hopefully you didn't, but you maybe would get sick or maybe had to go back to take care of your family. Well, instead of you having to wait 12 months until the course is offered again, you maybe have to wait 5 or 10 weeks until the course is offered again and you can retake those exams. And just to highlight the benefit of this, the average of students graduating on time within their degree program is actually 60%. So this is a huge benefit if you want to graduate on time, in addition to all the other benefits of the core principle. Taking a look at the rankings, yes, because we all think life went on hold in 2020, but it didn't. We continued working as normal as possible during 2020, and we are very happy to say that we never stopped. We never paused. Our students continued immediately online as soon as we had to put it online. As soon as we were allowed to have in-class teaching, we had in-class teaching. It's very innovative, and it's very wonderful to be part of a university that really wants to uphold that core principle, that in-person interaction. So they're bringing it online if they have to, but we all really want to be back in the office. Global study, and Anya and I, we were talking about that before, how we all just want to be back in the office and we want to be back with the students. That's very true at our university. So you might be watching the news, we might be online for now, but we are ready to welcome students into the classroom when we can. So because we reacted so quickly in 2020 and we're thinking ahead, thinking really innovatively, we scored very highly in 2020. The U multi-rank, this is by the EU Commission and the Erasmus Plus program. And Anya and I are particularly thrilled that we received top rankings for the whole EU Commission in our international orientation. Anya and I and our colleagues in the international office, we are the people who welcome you and who do the international orientation at our university. So we make it a point to get as many senior students and ambassadors involved to make sure everyone feels welcome. And beyond that, you are prepared for Germany and prepared to start your studies successfully. We also won for regional engagement. So this is for our industry contacts, as we just spoke about. And beyond that, the number of jobs that our international students are getting in the area, as well as the feedback we're getting from local employers about our graduates. And again, we both think this has to do with the core principle. We also scored very highly in the CHE rankings. This is between 300 universities in Germany. This year, they did awards for business. So we won business administration, business law, and business psychology, specifically for these exams. Again, the core principle and our support services, such as our international office. Next year, they're going to be scoring computer science. So we hope to be bringing you guys top scores in computer science next year. So a quick look at our campus in Heidelberg, which you can also see behind me here, even though it's definitely not spring. We are one of the oldest and largest private universities in Germany. As I said before, we are hungry to have the students back on campus, so we are completely set up as soon as the government says you can have in-class teaching. We're not only set up, but we have all of the COVID measures in place. We're located about 15 minutes from the city center, which is wonderful if you like to ride your bicycle. Heidelberg is quite a bicycle-friendly city, maybe not as friendly as Denmark, where Anya was, but Heidelberg is quite a friendly city. So right now I'm trying to stay off of public transportation as much as possible. So riding my bicycle around in Heidelberg is quite easy. And there are a lot of places you can rent bicycles. So as soon as you show up, you don't have that stress. You can rent a bicycle or a scooter near to campus. There's also shopping and sports clubs or hiking nearby. So this is what our campus looks like. As opposed to most universities in Germany, we actually have a full campus where you can live and learn all in one place. You have your classrooms here. You have your classrooms, but maybe Anya wants to share what her background is, because it does have to do with our campus.
So behind me, you see on the screen, the upper right corner where it says Neckar. That's the river that you can see right behind me, because this picture was taken from a student room in the dormitories that are on the right-hand side. The white bubble. Steph, can you show? Yeah, exactly. And right there is the room that this picture was taken from. So if that doesn't sell you, then I don't know what could.
Yeah, we're very, very lucky to have the dormitories on campus. I haven't come across any other universities with dormitories on campus, and as an international student, you get priority, and you can stay there for 1 or 2 semesters. You just have to let us know in time that you're coming and you want the room, and it's absolutely no problem. Also on the campus, we have a cafeteria, we have a library, we have a sports center, a coffee lounge, and there's also lots of really beautiful green spaces on the campus. But of course, you can get out to the river just behind the dormitories, go for a bicycle ride or a run. And as I said before, if you're into doing some water sports, there's lots of rowers, lots of paddle boarding, and lots of supping happening on the river. So you're in a really good location for that too. Looking closer at accommodation, because I know as an adult student coming back, I really had to look at my budget. So on-campus accommodation is around 230 to 550 euros. And to be quite honest, that's about the average of Heidelberg. Most places off campus you're going to find are going to be between 300 and 500 euros. So you can see this is a little bit more towards the lower end. You have your choice of single rooms or double rooms on campus, but be advised we only have a few double rooms available to students, but they are there. You have options for private bathrooms or shared bathrooms. One thing that every dormitory has in common is a large shared kitchen. And I know that when you see the picture of the large and shared kitchen and you think Corona, don't worry, the students have it set up where they're sanitizing, they're making sure to keep it clean, and they're making sure that they're not coming in there with too many people and keeping a safe distance. So when you decide that you want to apply at the university and you are trying to decide whether you want to take your space or not, one thing that we are going to be offering to students is doing admission information days. We will hold 1 day per month. So when you come through Global Study and they get you through the application process, once you have that pre-admission letter, just connect with them. They will have the dates for our pre-admission information days. And from Elitza, that will be coming to you shortly. I'm finishing up the emails, hopefully at the start of next week. She will have the information, so you can always get with her if you want more information from us. And then once you're a student with us, we have WhatsApp groups to help you when you are arriving at the campus. You have the support of our student helpers, student ambassadors, and seniors to guide you if you have questions when you're arriving or you need some assistance. Anya helps to organize our orientation weeks and our events, such as our event in the bottom corner here. You can see our digital campus rally. Our students couldn't meet in large groups in the winter semester this year, so we were sending them in small groups, doing something totally new and innovative on our campus with iPads and iPhones walking around. And she helps to organize this, and we have it planned again for this year. So even though maybe we won't be able to see you in person, we can be sure to see you digitally and welcome each individual student by face and name. And we also have regular Q&A sessions with us in the international office. During your studies, what support do you get? Well, firstly, we have that International Cultural Club. This week we are meeting on Friday, so tomorrow, and we're going to be playing the game Among Us. It's something that we're going to do. Last week there was a pub quiz. Around Christmas, Anya and some of our student helpers put some hot chocolate in mailboxes around the campus, and the students got together for a little Christmas toast and a little Christmas chat. So something will happen every week to keep you connected together. You can have a spot in our German language classes, or any language that you're interested in. We might be able to find a teacher. Generally, we have around, I would say, 8 to 10 different languages offered per semester. I took a little bit of Russian, but they also offer Spanish, French, Chinese, business English. I have seen Italian also one time, but it's really up to you. It's really fluid, so whatever language you're interested in, we can also find a teacher for that too. We have a startup incubator, so for you students who are interested in business, you might be interested in knowing a little bit more about starting your own company. Or maybe if you're not a business student, but you want to start your own company and you have absolutely no idea where to start, we can assist you with starting your own company, and we can give you advice and connect you with professionals at the university. As we said, some of them own their own business and they can help guide you. We have a career advisory center, and I know that at a lot of other universities that I have spoken with, they just kind of have a job board, and maybe they have an office where somebody gives them advice, but basically they say, go look at the job board. At our university, we go a little bit beyond that. If you're somebody who's never had a job, we can do interview training with you. We can check your CV. We can give you some personalized advice based on your background. We also give you access to our student job portal. It's the #1 recruitment portal in Europe. And as our students, you get access to it. So you can connect directly with companies all around Europe for student jobs. You can connect with them for careers, and you can connect with them even after your studies have finished. We're also offering a general studies program. And what this is these are additional study courses that are not offered within your study program. So these are very fluid, and they change every semester depending on what you want to learn. So we do a little bit of research with the current students, and we ask, hey guys, what do you want to know? And then we create those courses for you. This semester we're doing communication, and this was a big thing that I believe was asked for from the engineering students. And from the other side, our business students really, like myself, need some help with basic digital skills. So that's what the business students were asking for. So if you're a student with us, you can feel a little bit more in control of what you're learning. You do have to take your specific study program, but the extracurricular activities, the things you really, really want to learn, you just have to ask for it, and we can make it happen. And then as the alumni coordinator, I'm sure that Anya wants to do this section for you.
Exactly. So in this picture, you see one of my personal favorite groups of people that I've met over the past 3 years. They have all been studying together for 2 years. And this is a group of people that represents everything our alumni network is about. And that is a network that goes beyond the professional and into the personal level. So they have stayed connected, and they have done different projects together later after they were done with their studies. They're still working on projects together, despite the fact that one is back in China and the other one is going back to Colombia. One has traveled from the Netherlands to Israel now and is working there. So they're so interconnected, and they have stayed friends, but also professional connections that can make each other's lives and careers so valuable. And they can enhance each project because they have that network that is all around the world. So this is something that you gain as a student at SRH. You, as I said, have the opportunity to stay in touch, but not just with your classmates, not just with those people you have studied with, but with professors and also with staff members that might be able to help you later on in your life. It is not just about finishing your studies. It is about building a network that is going to be your safety net anywhere at any point in your life, because that is what this globalization has taught us, that you do need to have a network that's going to hold you in case you would ever need support. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will need it, but it is very good to know that you do. And you can, as an alumni, also always come back to us, to the university, to the Career Advisory Center, and get some tips. Maybe join in a class, or you can come back to the university as a professor to teach something that you have gotten really good at. So there are endless opportunities. You just have to take that hand that is always extended towards you.
So being a private university, we do have tuition fees. So depending what program you're wanting to study, the tuition fees will vary, as well as the duration of your studies. I saw the participant list before we started this presentation today, so I can see there is a wide range of interests for you. So I'll show you simply how to read this on here, and starting tomorrow, I'm actually going to send you guys the presentation. I maybe should have mentioned that at the beginning, because if you're anything like me, you might have been taking screenshots this whole time, but you guys are going to be getting a PDF. I apologize, I didn't mention that in advance. But for your tuition fees here, you can firstly see your program, followed by your tuition. Now this is going to be the yearly amount of tuition for you. It's going to be due at the start of every semester, of every year that you start. Then next is going to be the duration of your entire program. And last, that's going to be your intake. We have 2 intakes per year. April is a smaller intake, mostly of the technical programs, and 1 business program, but all of them start in October. So if you're interested in the university, you can see you've got plenty of time to decide on your program together with Global Study, and for them to help you get through the process, and then for you to get your visa and safely come. Entrance criteria.
Perhaps, I don't know if there are any students that are interested in studying maybe a program in German.
So at our university, we've got quite a few programs in German. This presentation, I only had the English ones, but if you guys are interested in the German programs, I work quite closely with Global Study, so between their assistants and me, we can of course advise you on the German programs.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. So then just to keep that in mind, and again, you guys, this is really meant for you, so if you have questions, please use the chat. That's perfectly fine. For English programs, we look for an IELTS of a 6.5 or a TOEFL of 80, but we are also accepting the Duolingo English tests online, so that comes to around a B2 level of English. And as Melitza said, for students interested in studying in German, we're looking for a C1 for the German programs. If you're waiting for your final grades, we can still give you provisional enrollment as long as you meet the rest of your entrance requirements. Now this brings me to the entrance for bachelor students, because around half of the participants were bachelor students. You do have to have entrance to a German university, which means an international baccalaureate diploma, a 4-year education, and if you have something different than that, you can always check the DAAD entrance requirements, but of course Global Study can advise you on all of the entry requirements that you have. Admission process, again, Global Study, they already know our admission process. It's fairly straightforward. Everything's done online. Submit your application, come to the interview, pay your first year of tuitions, and then you get your final letter, which is going to be used for the visa process. Funding is always a big question. We have a few options for funding at the university. First stop is always the DAAD. This is the largest scholarship provider in the world, and I won 2 scholarships through them, so they're worth looking at. If you're interested in doing a study semester, internship, or thesis abroad, we have what's called the Erasmus Plus program. It's not something you should think about before you study, but keep it in mind once you start your studies if you're interested in going abroad. During the summer, we offer what's called the Deutschlandstipendium. We have around 10 of these for our students this year, and any program in any nationality can apply. And of course, as we said before, you are not only welcome, but encouraged to work during your studies too. And our Career Advisory Center is here to help you guys with learning a little bit more about the region and what your options are. So the last thing that I have on here for you guys is if you do want more information, of course, you can always get that from our partners at Global Study. But we have an upcoming International Business Trial Day at the end of February, and this is going to be an interactive workshop to teach you a little bit about the core principle, and we will put you together with international students from around the world in a workshop. We're going to have an information day coming each month. And we can also connect you with one of our student ambassadors. You can see some of them on the screen to tell you about their programs if you want peer-to-peer advice. So to come to any of these specific events, just connect with Global Study and they'll have the information, or they can request it from me, of course, and we can get you guys in touch with the university a little more closely. So my last slide on here, I apologize, it's getting a little bit dark where I am. I'm a little bit further north, I think, than everyone. So if you're looking for advice, we can't stress enough, get in touch with Global Study and they'll give you some personal guidance.
After this presentation, I feel like pursuing another degree at SRH, really, girl. Thank you very much, ladies, for such a wonderful presentation and for sharing all of that with us.
Thank you. Thank you. I realize now that it was a little bit long. When I had the presentation up, I couldn't see the time.
The presentation was perfect. You've covered everything and also the fun sides, the practical sides. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for having us. Thank you. Mihailo? Did I say it correctly?
Mihailo. Almost.
Thank you, Mihailo. It was wonderful presenting for you guys today. And we are here if you guys have questions, you know.
In case anyone has any question, you may ask in Serbian or in English.
Or what else? What other languages, Anya, can they ask you in?
German?
German, Russian, Italian, Spanish, Danish.
I've got English. That's it.
For 4 years. So we can speak in Spanish the next time.
Oh, that would be lovely. You know, the funny part is that I have never had classes in Spanish, ever. But turns out I speak it pretty well because my grandma used to watch... I mean, we all know what that is, right? We all grew up with that. Yeah, it turns out it kind of stuck with me and makes my life so much simpler right now because there are so many students from Latin America, for example, that are studying at SRH.
Perfect. Spanish is a new language and it's easy to learn, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna switch to Serbian for a second, and just to see in case anybody has any other questions, if that's okay with you girls.
Please do.
Of course.
Dakle, sada malo na srpskom. Hvala vam još jednom svima što ste se prijavili. Nadam se da vam se dopala prezentacija, tačnije webinar. Ukoliko imate neka pitanja ili ne možete trenutno se setite, slobodno možete da nas pitate putem naše email adrese ili putem našeg web sajta ili Instagram stranice, dakle globalstudy.rs. Tako da, naravno, ukoliko se interesuju još neki univerziteti, kao što sam rekla na početku, možemo i zakazati konsultacije kako biste dobili sve neophodne informacije. Svakako ćete dobiti snimak webinara putem e-mail adrese, tako da ćete moći naknadno sve da pogledate još jednom. Ladies, I don't think anyone else has any questions, but in case they do, they can contact us after this webinar as well. So thank you very much once again. And I'm looking forward to our next presentation, and I'm looking forward for you to visit us here. So we can show Stephanie the nightlife here in Belgrade.
Yes.
I can't wait to go back to dancing in Belgrade because I miss that too much.
Perfect.
Wonderful. We would love to come, and we hope that we'll be able to welcome some of the students to the campus next time, maybe in October, hopefully. And then, yeah, maybe you could join me and Anya and give your own testimony to future students who would like to come. We always look for students to join these presentations and give their own advice. So maybe that'll be one of you next time.
Hopefully, that would be perfect. Okay, thank you, ladies.
For having us.
Thank you.
And you all have a great evening, and hopefully until next time.
Until next time.
Bye. Have a nice evening. Bye.
You too. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.